Hey guys, Zach here, and welcome back to Thursday Reviews. And today for Thursday Reviews, we have the Bandai Creations GMK figure. Now, before I get on with this video, I just want to apologize, because if I sound weird in the video, that is because that I am somewhat sick, and I would usually cancel. Actually, no, I wouldn't. So yeah, the show must go on. And if I sniffle or cough during this video, again, that's because I'm sick. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. But either way, enough of that. Let's take a look at the box that I do not own. So let's take a look at the paint on this figure. And the paint on this figure is, well, it's really good. However, again, it's not film accurate. I'm not looking for film accuracy or not. I'm just looking for a good figure. I know I say that, like, even if it's a good figure, it's not film accurate. I don't, dislike a figure because it's not film accurate. Like, that's just something I'm pointing out. And also, I do know that I stuttered right there. But either way, let's take a look at the paint on the head. The eyes are painted white, which is film accurate. Godzilla is actually a ghost in GMK. By the way, GMK is my second favorite Godzilla film of all time. And if you haven't already, definitely check that film out. But yeah, Godzilla is a ghost in that movie. I'm not going to explain because GMK is a very complicated movie, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But going back to the figure, the teeth are painted on, and unlike Bandai, here, let me just adjust the light. The inside of the mouth is painted. Usually Bandai just paints the tongue, but instead they painted the entire inside of the mouth, which I think is really nice. The claws are painted white, and so are the toe claws. And these spikes are the traditional white with black spots. Well, just near the inner parts of the spines right here. And yeah, the rest of the body is just this bluish grayish color, which I'm not too keen of. In my opinion, well, in the movie, he was gray, but they decided to make him this bluish gray because, actually, I don't know why. I'm not saying I don't like the paint. I like the paint a lot. It's just that it's not film accurate. And again, I don't dislike a figure because it's not film accurate. You either have a good figure or a bad figure, and this is a good figure. But either way, that is it for the paint. It gets a pass in my book. Now let's take a look at the articulation, and again, this is a Bandai Creations figure, so there's not much here. The head can twist 360. The arms can twist 360. And the legs can't move 360 because the arms get in the way. Oh, maybe not. There we go. You kind of have to stretch the figure in order to make it move 360. And I wouldn't recommend doing that because, you could scuff up the paint or just, damage the figure if you do that. Also, I just bumped into my camera there. And, yeah, so I wouldn't try to move the legs 360, but if you can, then, well, actually don't. And lastly, the tail can twist 360. Kind of tight, but if you really wanted, you could have a Godzilla gun. You could just run around with this, like, let's say your friends have, like, a bunch of cool Nerf guns, and all you have is this figure. Yeah, you can pretend that it's a gun, if you really wanted. But either way, all jokes aside, that is it for the articulation on this figure. Not much, but then again, it's a Bandai Creations figure, so there's not much articulation either way. And now let's take a look at the sculpt, and I actually really like the sculpt. I mean, there were some things I didn't like about the sculpt, like right here, while looking at the head, I didn't like that at first, but now looking at it, I actually really do like that. The spines are somewhat inaccurate. I can't describe how, but they just look a little inaccurate in my opinion. And, sorry, GMK Godzilla usually has bigger feet. And he has big feet now, but in the movie they were slightly bigger. You could say that Godzilla's a Bigfoot. I'll stop, but no, again, all seriousness, yeah, I really do like the sculpt on this figure, but actually no, I just really like the sculpt of this figure. So the sculpt gets a pass. Now let's take a look at the detailing. And most of the detailing is, you know, what you would expect from Godzilla. You know, we have scales, you know, all over the body and all over the arms, all over the legs, which look really nice. And again, the tail is just Godzilla, which again looks really nice. I like how the spines are detailed. I think they're detailed pretty nicely. And again, more scales and stuff on the head, which looks really nice. The teeth are molded in, and there's kind of detailing in the mouth. Here, let me just adjust the light here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a bit of detailing in the mouth right there. And, yeah. I don't have much to say about the detailing on this figure because basically, if you've seen Godzilla and if you've seen, you know, GMK, then yeah, you know what the detailing is like. Again, the sculpt, well, it's accurate to the movie, but there's just some things that aren't accurate about this figure. But either way, should you get this figure? Definitely. This figure is definitely a figure you should pick up, especially if you enjoy GMK as much as I do. Definitely get this figure. I don't know how much it is online, but I'm sure it's not that cheap because, you know, Bandai. And, well, if, I don't know, like, Bandai figures, well, Bandai Creation figures are somewhat expensive. I'm not too sure because, you know, they came out in, like, you know, somewhere in the 2000s, and, yeah, almost everyone who bought them, you were either a kid who liked to play with toys or you were a collector. So, I don't know how much these figures are, but I'm going to assume that they're not cheap at all. But either way, if you want to know how big this figure is, here he is next to Dr. Billy Graham. Alright. Now, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week. I will see you in the next video, and hopefully I get better next week. Peace, Zach out.